I am currently sitting right next to the Atlantic Ocean. And I'm sitting here because I thought, what better place to start a video about Studio Ghibli than here? I couldn't find any floating castles or magic bathhouses, so next best thing, right? Before I start this video and rank and nitpick and criticize all of these films, I just wanted to express my appreciation towards the creators of these movies. I feel really lucky to have been able to watch all of them, so thank you. Now, without wasting another second, please enjoy Studio Ghibli Ranked. The name Studio Ghibli is eponymous with quality animation. No other animation studio that I know of has made a higher number of high-quality movies. While a studio like Pixar makes kids' movies accessible to adults, Studio Ghibli makes films that range from being universal to exclusively adult, proving that just because it's animated, it doesn't need to be a cartoon. The studio has released 24 films under its label to date, the most recognized being directed by Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata, the co-founders of the studio along with producer Toshio Suzuki. Hayao Miyazaki has made 10 films with Studio Ghibli. Ponyo, My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away. His films are grand, sweeping, romantic, and fantastical. Isao Takahata has made 5 films with the studio. Only Yesterday, Grave of the Fireflies, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, contrasting Miyazaki with realism and experimental art styles and subject matter. Miyazaki brings us up in the sky, and Takahata keeps us on the ground. But 15 out of 24 leaves 9. Because this is a video about all of Ghibli. So girls and boys, buckle up on the magical cat bus because we are taking a deep dive into the wondrous world of the big whopper in the anime industry. Look over your shoulder and you'll find harrowing tales of survival and war, impossibly awe-inspiring worlds, creatures from your dreams and your nightmares, the lo-fi girl, expanding nutsacks, and possible incest? No, that can't be right. Is this the right script? Fuck. Okay. Here's a fish girl. Isn't she cute? But you know what isn't cute? If there was a word I'd never use to describe any of the later films on this list, it'd be mechanical. Each and every one of the later films, flawed as some of them may be, feel like they were made by people. I'm not just talking about the animation. I think that every part of this movie, from the script to the character design, looks and feels like it was generated by a computer algorithm. Each movement, from the walking to the expressions, looks like a video game preset animation. Like someone's just pressed a button to start the set-in-stone animation for an emotion or movement. You know how you can smell some movies? Well, this movie smells like plastic. Adding on to its base structure of lifelessness are some horrifying bits, like this realistic rendering of food set against the backdrop of pre-Toy Story CG. For the entire movie, I did not have an emotional reaction, but thanks to this, I can confidently say that I had a physical reaction. Ghibli food has never looked so gross. A heartless, excruciatingly dull, empty canvas. Each character only fulfills the stereotype of what the character is supposed to be with no further substance. This guy is the mentor. He is wise and very powerful. He gives the young protagonist a sword and also has no other personality trait. His name is Sparrowhawk. I really wish I had something nice to say about this film. I'm a big nerd for ambitious fantasy, and animation has gotta be the perfect medium to translate this genre. Big dragons, magic swords, cackling witches, mysterious creatures. I mean, when you can do anything, why would you do exactly what's expected? It felt like I was falling, desperately trying to cling on to something, anything to like, because everything is so bland. Everything! This film has this incredible ability to constantly self-sabotage itself by consistently bashing its head against a tired wall of cliche. It's like the movie is scared to be creative or inventive in any way. Allow me to list off some examples. The main hero has got daddy issues. He has a bad dream where he sees his daddy issues. There's also the scene when the annoying henchman guy shows up at the bad guy's lair and he's like, "Sir, we couldn't catch them." And the bad guy's like, "Well, try again. Or else." For me, this is a pointless movie. It doesn't do anything to stir up my emotions, question my beliefs, or challenge me in any way. It's a fantasy movie template with nothing fantastical living inside. Kind of feels like a Lord of the Rings obsessed 12-year-old wrote this script. Wait, did I write the script? In the grand scheme of Ghibli, The Cat Returns is overlooked because it should be. A film like so many others, it is the Ghibli that feels the most like a product. A quick cash grab with just as much heart and imagination imbued inside as a phone coverage commercial. The emotion is flat, with no underlying power, just bad jokes. They gave her mice because cats like mice. Now that's funny. We are presented with stakes that turn out not to exist. There's a point where the main character cat, who the human main character falls in love with, challenges this guy to a duel. I mean, come on, dude. At one point, our heroes are running away on these stairs, and then they get confronted by the guards. Now they're stuck. What are they going to do? Are they going to fight them? Run in the other direction? How are they going to overcome this obstacle? Well, yeah. I want to clarify that there wasn't any setup for this. There wasn't a scene earlier where they said, "Oh, there's one weakness in the stair, and if there's too many people on the stairs at once, they all fall, right? And the stairs crumble." Nah. That just happened. The stairs just crumbled. Thing is, they do this a lot. They put the characters in a dangerous situation, then instead of having the characters resolve the situation and confront it, the situation just resolves itself. Which is like, it's really tough to care about the characters and be emotionally invested in their journey when you know nothing bad is ever going to happen to them. The real world is more interesting than the wondrous cat world, which is just a regular old fantasy castle in a field with a maze. If Tales from Earthsea didn't exist, then this would be the blandest that Ghibli gets. At least it has energetic filmmaking and some nice animation. Okay, next movie. I've got a lot of respect for how uninhibitedly nuts this movie is. It's just not very good at balancing its tone. The way this movie tries to be cute is extremely off-putting. Cutesy character design and magical ball sacks do not mix. Yep, you heard me right. The raccoon dogs in this movie have testicles that expand by will, which would be awesome, but then they also try to pass this off as cute. Let me say it again. Shape-shifting ball sacks aren't cute. On top of everything, there's a cheery, omniscient narrator telling us things.
私たちはもともと人家の近くに住んでました。いえ、人間の食べ物を湿気するんじゃないんですよ。田んぼや畑があると、カエルやバッタとか、ネズミやモグラが取れるし、柿や桑の実も拾えて、ただの山の中よりずっと餌が。Shut up!
Shut up! Shut up! Maybe I'm missing something, but the narration isn't necessary to the story. It feels like something that was slapped on afterwards in the scenes that don't have dialogue or action. The two things I love most about this movie are A, how it gives itself permission to do spectacular and weird shit, and B, the realistically animated, emotionally devastating scenes, like the one where the raccoon gets trapped here and all of his friends run away. It's then a damn shame that those two bits don't work too well together. You can't have the zany surrealism and the emotional realism in the same movie. Ocean Waves is a coming-of-age movie about a love triangle between three characters who each have a unique way to make you not give a shit about them. With an enticingly short running time of 72 minutes, it still manages to be a timeline checker. It's undoubtedly a very boring movie, but it is the beginning of Ghibli movies having scores that slap harder than the characters in this movie. Listen to this. Yeah. My Neighbours the Yamadas seeks its humor in its portrayal of family life, priding itself in its observances of the little annoyances that characterize living in a family. Past these observances, the film is empty. Other than the 5-year-old girl, each character is a cynical stereotype, rarely doing anything if it doesn't serve their ego.
今駅だ。すまんが傘頼む。
登る。駅までお父さんに傘。なんで？勉強中だよ。あんたが行ったらええやないの。たまにはあいあい傘で。今日は体が動かへんねやわ。そうかって。登る。やっぱりあんたが行ってんな。どの子に行かせれば？
もういい。そこのスーパーで買って帰る。
ほな牛のバラ肉 300g。
バカ野郎。
You can see how the film tries to be endearing in its art style, music, and light tone, which then clashes with the flat, unlikable characters, creating an overall muddled, mediocre experience with a few admittedly clever moments that made me smile. The best moments come when the movie breaks free from its relatable Facebook comedy and into sequences of unrestrained visual creativity. I don't need to watch a movie to see a family yelling at each other and complaining. That's called Thanksgiving. I'm not at the point in my life where I want to watch reality portrayed on screen. Maybe when I'm 80 and satisfied with the life I've lived, I'll put this on and sigh at my foolish teenage opinions. I sure was a stupid little boy. What a beautiful film about nostalgia and your relationship with the past. Damn, this is meta. Meanwhile, my 18-year-old self was once again excruciatingly bored. It's tough because this movie is really good at portraying life as it is. It's basically a gorgeously animated reality. Trouble is, my attention span is short. I appreciate what the film is trying to get across, coming from an honest portrayal of childhood memories in contrast with adulthood reality that could not be animated more beautifully. The ending was great, and maybe the only part of the movie that made me feel something. Unfortunately, I would have rather folded laundry than get through the hour and 50 minutes that preceded it. Sorry. From Up on Poppy Hill is a psychological thriller like no other. It starts off as a sweet love story between two schoolmates, but don't let that fool you. The film is nicely complemented by a unique jazzy composition. Goro Miyazaki really seemed to have found his voice, or at least something close to it in this film. It's genuinely sweet, and not at all forced like his earlier or later work, until...
私、風間さんが好き。メル。血がつながっていても、たとえ兄弟でも、ずーっと好き。
俺もお前が好きだ。
That's right, the big plot twist in the studio that made My Neighbor Totoro is that the two love interests could be related by blood. Other than that, there's not much more to talk about. This movie is like a light, sugary snack with a strange aftertaste. Like a good health snack. Fig Newtons. This movie's a Fig Newton. Other than suffering from a few cliches and some awful music, this is a solid one. The bulk of the film is several steps down from a single scene. I am of course talking about the crown jewel, the pièce de résistance, the scene when Arrietty and her dad explore the house for the first time. If you haven't seen the movie, the whole concept is that there's little people living in a big house with regular humans. This scene is when the little people, the titular Arrietty and her dad, take some supplies from the regular humans. To see this imaginative thought from childhood represented on the screen so flawlessly is, for lack of thesaurus.com, really, really cool. Just this scene alone would make a fantastic short film, and without it, the film would be bleeding on the side of the Ghibli highway. The experience is made by the sound design. Otherwise familiar environments become monstrously huge chasms with atmospheric clinks and big gushes of wind. This is partly what animation is for, to represent what live action cannot. If you haven't already seen this movie, my opinion is you don't need to watch it. Just watch this scene with headphones on. This one's fun. It's a great mystery movie with fun story beats. It does a great job at portraying social insecurity. Trust me, I would know. It seems like Ghibli has a habit of teasing a romantic relationship, then pulling the rug and revealing that they're actually related. In the grand catalog of Ghibli, this film is nothing too special. Very forgettable, but very fun when it lasted. But fun doesn't cut it. This is Studio Ghibli we're talking about. The Goliath of quality in the animation industry. Whoa. What are you doing in my house? Well, since you're here, I might as well tell you that since this video is already pretty long and I desperately need more content on my channel, I'm gonna split it. So tune in next week to find out what I think the highest quality Studio Ghibli movies are. And yeah, go down below, tap that subscribe button, tap that like button, and Studio Ghibli Ranked Part 2 coming to a theater near you. I love you. Goodbye.